Kristin Kovner, welcome to The Brief. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're excited to chat with you, and we're just so lucky to have been working with you over the past, I guess it's a couple years now, on, with a lot of different clients. And you are an outsourced chief marketing officer, and K-Squared Strategies, your company, is a marketing team that can be called upon. Can you tell us kind of the high-level overview of what you do?
Absolutely. And it's been amazing working with you guys too. All the clients that we've done video work for have been very, very happy. We are a marketing strategy consultancy, and we work with high-growth tech and media companies on everything around their go-to-market strategy. So whether that's their messaging and positioning, or their brand strategy, or their sales materials and collateral, or their website, we help make it happen. We're an extension of our clients' teams, and we see ourselves as part of those teams. You
have an incredible resume, an amazing history kind of in the tech and media world. AOL, YouTube, Google. So you really know a lot about what tech and media companies can do to elevate their brand, their presence, right? What are your biggest tips for brands right now, during this moment of quarantine, during this moment of crisis? What should brands be doing or not doing?
It's such a great question, and especially as we're seeing a lot of uncertainty, you want to make sure whatever you're doing is authentic. And that's the same advice I give to brands when we're not in a crisis like this. Whatever you do has to be true to your brand and your purpose, and speak to the audiences you want to reach and who are, talking about what they care about in that moment. So now it may be something very different that they care about. There's a great pizza ad running now that talks about, hey, we've always been no touch. No one touches your pizza after it's been cooked and put in the box. But as a reminder, that's another value we bring to you, and it's safety now. So yeah, I worked at Google and at YouTube in particular, and then at AOL. And a lot of big brands, I think, have the luxury of lots of in-house teams and people to sort of do a lot of this work. When I work with smaller brands, anyone from even Spotify, big brand but smaller, we're bringing different views and sort of lenses from the outside world when we come to work with those clients. So I think the first thing that brands can do differently right now is to take a step back and sort of see what their customers are facing and what pain points they're having and how they can be helpful. I think this is really a time to be helpful to your clients and to your customers or to your users. A lot of my favorite workout coaches and teachers are offering free Instagram trainings, and that's awesome to see. I love that, because what I need right now is a chance to exercise, and they're giving that to me in a way that I can do it in a format that's different, right? I'm not able to go to the studio. If you think about sort of tech and media brands, we have a client we're working with that's amazing called Open Space. They are AI-powered construction technology. You guys have done some work with them too. And it's an incredible moment. They were putting together a free version of their product. They've been thinking about it for a while. It was coming out, and they pushed it to market faster because they know right now, as job sites are shutting down and people can't be on the job site to document it, which is what their product does, they really need to have a remote solution, a solution to sort of do that virtually. And that's what their product does. So they just made it available for free to everyone, and they pushed it on a timeline. So that's been really amazing. The response has been great for that. So it's sort of authentic to what they're doing, but making it more relevant to the moment. Another client that we've also done work on together, Pymetrics, is in the AI-powered hiring space. Well, people are still hiring, maybe at a slower rate, but they can't do it on site. And they've got a video interviewing product. So we've been putting together a campaign for them to really promote that product, and it's seeing a lot of great traction. How do you move people along the candidate pipeline in a way that's safe? So that's something that their customers have been really happy to see, their video interviewing product sort of take center stage in this moment, because it's really relevant for the time.
I feel like so many businesses didn't know that they were in the perfect position until a few weeks ago. You also spoke with us about be careful to not be opportunistic.
Yes.
In this moment.
Means not being opportunistic. And I would say it's not that fine of a line. I think we've all gotten a million emails in the past week from people I didn't even know had my information telling me what they're doing about COVID-19. And maybe it's a restaurant I went to 15 years ago in the Bay Area where I haven't been in ages. That actually gives me pause. It says, wow, you've kept my data that whole time. You haven't messaged me for years and years. And now there's this moment where you're sort of trying to reach out and tell me that I should be supporting you in some way. It doesn't ring true. And it actually starts to question, well, what are your brand purpose and what's your value there that you've sort of, been so silent for so long and now you're here. I did have another client who is not a real fit for what this is, try to sort of wedge themselves into the space. And thankfully when we step back, we realize that that's not really where they want to be. I think that people right now, Meredith Corporation, another one of our clients, just put out some wonderful research that we can link your audience to, but it shows that, women especially are really looking for brands they trust to give them trusted content to sort of help them get through this time with fact-based information and trusted content in the form of entertainment or just information that they can, look to and consume. And they're not looking for brands to sort of be cashing in on this moment.
Are there any things that brands can be doing now that they weren't doing in the past?
Even though for me, and for many of you, I'm sure, it's been busier than ever to be managing a family and your work and new places to work. I'm talking to you from my childhood home where I am spending the past few weeks. It's also a moment where you can tackle some of those bigger projects that just tend to get pushed down on your to-do list. We often talk about the urgent versus the important. Now is a great time to tackle something important that didn't have as much urgency before when you're in the day-to-day mechanism of all your campaigns. Or for example, you're dealing with client work that maybe is less important right now, or the volume of sales is less. So it's a great time, for example, to think about redoing your website. We have a client who does manufacturing out of China. That's a bit of a slower business right now and will be for a few months. And it's a great time for them to really charge ahead and get their digital presence in order, all their social channels, their website refresh, video content they want to create, so that when things come back, they're ready to go and can really hit the ground running. So that's one thing I'm seeing people doing that makes a lot of sense. The second thing is your home. It's really hard to get 2 to 3 hours of uninterrupted time anywhere, including at home, but especially at the office when we have a lot of meetings. At least for me, when I was running a team at AOL, most of my day was spent with meetings. It was very hard to sort of carve out time to think. Now is a really great time where you can carve out think time to do broader strategic work or visioning work for the future, or 6 and 10 and 12-month plans to look ahead of where you want to be, even given the uncertainty. Things that require quiet thinking time. It's a really good chance to tackle those as well. And the third thing you can do is talk to your customers. If you're in the B2B space or B2C, talk to your users, find out what their pain points are and how you can help address them. You may have had a plan that really puts one product in your suite forward, and it might be time to adjust that. I have a great company we've been working with for over a year now called Paxos. They're in the fintech space, and we are really pushing their gold product right now. It's a digital gold-backed token called Pax Gold. And in times of volatility, people are looking to buy gold. So all of a sudden that product becomes front and center and is a really great thing to be heralding and championing in the market because it solves a problem that's immediate that maybe wasn't the problem a few months ago. Or if it was a problem, it wasn't the main problem.
Yeah, I think I love that, like laying the foundation for success post COVID-19 crisis and kind of redoing a website or laying those strategic kind of relationships or trying to introduce yourself to some people on LinkedIn, or I'm trying to build the network more now because quite frankly, business kind of took a dip. I think everybody is seeing that, but we're going to get out of this eventually. I have hopes. I have high hopes that brighter days are ahead. And, I think you're absolutely right. Now is the time for brands to be preparing for that.
We actually use a service, Frame.io, for video sharing and giving notes. And a couple of days after everybody went work from home, they sent out a survey asking how everybody was doing, how it was affecting them. Have you lost business? What things are you looking for? What solutions do you need? And it was so awesome that it was like a pretty in-depth survey. I was like so impressed that they put it together so quickly. And then a couple days later, they actually increased their storage limit to 2 terabytes for everybody to help out. And I was just like, wow, this is so helpful for us. And also obviously they're getting value too, because it's promotion and all of that. But I was really impressed by that.
That's a wonderful story. And they were able to act so nimbly to do that. That's incredible.
To kind of synergize everything, is there any final advice you have for brands, do's, don'ts, while we're kind of navigating this new world?
Call your vendors, and if you're having trouble making your payments on your software or other things, ask for different plans. This is not a time where people want to lose business. And one thing I'm telling my smaller clients, my high growth clients, is people want to see you succeed. Like, you are the backbone of the country, we're the growth engine of our economy, but you shouldn't be spending money that you don't have if you don't need to. So that's one piece of advice for smaller businesses. Call up your vendors for everything that's in your tech stack, for every tool you're using, and see what you can work out, because people want to work with you. The second thing I would say is very tactical too, which is just look at where you're spending money on your paid media campaigns and look at those conversion rates. For some businesses, it's exactly the right time to lean in. Bids are lower because the auction pool is smaller, and that may make sense for you. But if your product is not currently the thing that people are buying, or it's retail driven and people aren't going the place they're going to use your product with, check what your spends are on Google, on Facebook, on any of your paid media campaigns, and make sure you're not wasting budget that you're going to want to have later when things come back to normal. But the third thing I would say is just keep doing what makes you for your brand and being true to your purpose. I think listening more than talking is good, although you've been interviewing me on this video. But the way Frame.io reached out to you to ask what the pain points are and how they can be helpful, now is a time when every company can play a role in helping their customers succeed. And that's what you want to be doing during this crisis and always.
Well, we're lucky that we're getting to listen to you. And I know that our audience is going to love to hear these things. If brands want to work with you, where do they find you?
www.ksquaredstrategies.com. But please note, we are also taking a moment to update our website in this COVID-19 time.
That's awesome. All right, Kristin. Well, thank you so much, and really appreciate you being on The Brief with us today. And we're going to get through this. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you all next time on The Brief.